This morning I went to a clinical faculty developmental day, like professional development CE seminar. And in a room full of about 50 clinical instructors, there's so many different perceptions. We talked about inference and how sometimes we make inferences based on the student's actions. So for example, Kate comes in late and we automatically say that Kate is lazy, Kate doesn't want to be here, something's wrong with Kate. So we keep an eye on Kate. And if we try to find Kate throughout the day, we can't find her. Now it's like, I knew it, she has some issues, something's going on, she's lazy, yada, yada, yada. So then we keep an eye out and kind of micromanage Kate specifically because we've already in our head made this inference of who and what Kate is without even checking in on Kate to see what's wrong and why she was late and how she's feeling. So some of the lessons that I learned today as an instructor that I'm going to use to make sure that I'm more cognizant of is emotions before cognition when it comes to learning. So if you think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, I know I always tell my students, you can't educate if the patient's basic needs aren't met. So I can't talk about anything psychosocial if you're in pain. I can't talk about discharge education if you're hungry. Same thing goes for the students though, right? I cannot expect the students to be at their best if their emotions are taken over, because anxiety and fear is going to hinder you and block you from recalling information as fast as you would have been if you were psychologically safe or just confident in yourself. So as an instructor, that's definitely something that I want to take with me. However, for my new instructors and my experienced instructors as well, something that we have to be mindful of is how we talk to our students, right? And I believe there's a difference between nice and kind. And I'm going to explore that in the Nurses Notes 6-week intensive for new instructors and new nurse educators, the difference between nice and kind in regards to giving feedback and debriefing. But we need to be mindful that these students can be our coworkers in a few weeks. If you are working with a nursing student who's a senior, and they graduate in May and pass the NCLEX in June, they potentially could be your coworker in July, okay? And so we should give them the same level of respect that we would do to our teammates, our coworkers. And so if you see a coworker coming in late one day and they're dragging, you're probably gonna pull them to the med room like, hey girl, everything's good? What's going on at home? You all right? How the kids, how the babies? Why don't we do the same for our students? They deserve